Week 5 is upon us as the LEC and LCS action heats up. We've got the LEC on lock with the week 2 of the LCS to roll on in alongside it. So without further ado, we're doing this straight after the end of the LCS, so the results are fresh in our minds, so let's just jump into them straight away. Starting with day 1 of the LCS, 4 out of 5, we only dropped the TL 100 Thieves matchup. Day 2, a nice 3 out of 5 to give us 7 out of 10. We dropped the TSM Dig and EGC9 matchup in terms of our results. As for the LEC side of things, it was a bit more plain sailing. Day 1, 5 out of 5, pretty easy to predict. Day 2, a nice juicy 3 out of 5. We only dropped the Fnatic XL and the Rogue G2 matchup, where Rogue continued their undefeated streak. Now that our nice 8 out of 10 prediction results has been recorded, let's go into our first game of the LCS Week 2. So let us kick off the LCS with Dignitas EG. This matchup as a whole has a lot of hype behind it because Dig had a 2-0 weekend to kick off the spring split, and EG lost out to C9 and they managed to pick up a win of their own against TSM. So realistically, both teams have beaten TSM. That's a good benchmarker if they can beat TSM. Let's just say that, because TSM had a bit of a struggle against EG and it wasn't really close. As for the Dignitas TSM game, it was kinda close. So, who do I think is gonna win? As I am hiccuping through this first matchup, good signs for the rest of the video, I've gone with an Evil Geniuses win here to kick off their LCS week. Game 2 sees 100 Thieves taking on Immortals, and yeah, honestly, 100 Thieves had a very good week 1. 2-0 to start it off against Team Liquid, whom is a very difficult opponent, and then against CLG, who is kind of very weak. I for one think that 100 Thieves are going to beat out IMT here, who have a fairly difficult start to the split going 0-2. I don't think that they're a strong squad after their run at lock-in was not very good, and as such, that's kind of why I feel that the result is going to go in favor of the Thieves. Ooh, it's time! It's C9 Team Liquid. That's the third matchup, and honestly, you're going to be surprised with my prediction here. C9 are the team I predicted to win, and I know I'm going against the grain in terms of predictions, and personally, I don't care. As a whole, I think C9 are a wildcard team this year. They've, in my opinion, got weaker in terms of the roster, but as a whole, you could expect the unexpected when it comes to this lineup, and that's what I like. They're going to bring a surprise factor to the matchups that I don't think many teams are going to expect, and as such, that's why I've gone with them here. Beating out against Team Liquid, whom as a whole, you would have thought they probably would have got 2 wins week 1. Instead, they lost to the current LCS champs, which could, in theory, as most people would think, put them in a bit of a rocky situation, as it's the same sort of story as to what happened during the regular split last spring. After the lock-in tournament, they did exceptionally well. I think they won the lock-in, and then they absolutely bombed for the first half of the spring. That's kind of what I'm expecting to see here through week 2. Game 4, Golden Guardians CLG. Yeah, I'm just going to say Golden Guardians CLG are bad. That's the prediction. And now we have a Summer Split Finals matchup from not too long ago that TSM triumphed in. This time, it is a Spring Split Week number 2 matchup. TSM take on FlyQuest to round out day 1. And personally, this is going to be a nice matchup for both teams. TSM have struggled here in the early stages of spring as this sort of developmental LPL roster. And FlyQuest, they're doing quite good, picking up wins against lower half of the table teams in CLG and Golden Guardians is a good way to start their league, and one could say they've probably had the easiest ride so far during the spring split. Now they go up against TSM, who are yet to pick up a win themselves, so this realistically could be a FlyQuest win, all the same. And with the given track record that FlyQuest have over TSM during the spring split, I wouldn't put it against them. However, it's me. I am very petty, and I really want TSM to beat FlyQuest to continue the streak of me predicting TSM over FlyQuest every time. And as such, I've gone with a TSM win, just out of pettiness and spite. I don't care about the results-based analysis for this one. I've just gone for spite. Day 2's kicked off with IMT and C9. Yeah, let's just keep this one in a very quick, brief setup. I've gone with a C9 win. Just C9 as a team has a bigger name factor, better value. Even though IMT realistically have got the better roster on paper, I personally think that C9 will win this one. Team Solo Mid and Golden Guardians. It's game 2. And you know, I would usually ramble on about team strength, core, stability, and you know, I'm gonna do that. Not on this game. I've gone with a TSM win. YOLO. 2-0 week for TSM after a horrendous week 1. What could go worse? We roll on into EG versus 100 Thieves for our matchup here. And this is a big one. Honestly, we get 2 big matchups a week in the LCS, and this is definitely the one for day 2. As a whole, this matchup could easily go to either team with how their form has been in recent weeks. And as I say that, my prediction is EG are gonna win. They're just slightly stronger in my books, even though they lost to C9, who are gonna have a difficult week for themselves as well. But we're on to this matchup. Stylistically, I think this favors EG a bit more. Closer versus Inspired, it's again 2 top junglers getting their teams ahead. It's what we're gonna see here. Yes, Inspired's a lot more selfish, but so's Closer, and that's what we're gonna see here as the 2 laners battle out on the Rift. Game 9 of the LCS this week is FlyQuest Team Liquid. And you know, this doesn't need too much of an explanation. Team Liquid are gonna win here against FlyQuest. Hands down, this is a very easy one to predict. And personally, I really want to see this Team Liquid lineup just wipe the floor with everyone this year. Even if they did manage to lose out on day 1, they've still got time here. You know, they're going to do some work. And we'll be looking honestly forward for TSM versus Team Liquid, which is soon to come. And finally, our last matchup of the LCS this week sees Dignitas versus CLG in our matchup of the week. I'm really not looking forward to this for CLG, as they go up against a Dignitas lineup who's shocking the entire North American scene. Let's be honest, no one expected them to have a 2-0 week, and yet they did. They have been performing above where they need to be, and that is such a big statement, considering the fact that they're going up against probably the weakest team in the league at this stage. I for one think that this is going to be a whitewash for Dignitas, but it will give us a chance to look at this lineup as they face off against such a weak opponent. If it isn't blatantly obvious, my prediction for this one is a Dignitas win. Let's roll into the LEC now, where we can get through their 10 predictions. So over to the LEC we go with our matchup of the week as well. BDS versus Misfits. to kick the action off. Personally, I didn't know where we were going to go with this, and I think that Misfits are a team that I want to look at right now, as they've got this sort of spark to them, and with that spark they are challenging for playoffs at a minimum. They're definitely looking for top 4 right now with that lineup, and that's kind of the big thing here. That's why we want to look at them, and it's important to note they lost out on Resort during the off-season, and then they get in Syngroff, and they've been performing quite well. It might actually be Zlatan. Either way, Zlatan and Syngroff are facing off against each other in this matchup. I have no clue who plays for which team because I get them mixed up. Now, personally, I think Misfits are going to win. They're the stronger of the two teams at the moment. And VTO has just been a standout performer, I would have to say, for this Misfits lineup this year. And it's kind of a refreshing sight to see, as he is the future of European mids that we want to pop off. And as such, that's why I kind of want to look at this matchup. Now we get to this sort of very predictable fashion for the next 3 games. Rogue Astralis, Vitality XL, and Fnatic versus SK. Can you guess who I'm going for in all these? Well, it's blatantly obvious Rogue game, I'm going for Rogue. No duh. They're undefeated at the moment, going up against literally last place team in the league. Vitality XL is close. I think this is probably the closest matchup of this weekend's games. And I personally still feel though that Vitality will edge it out. SK Fnatic is next matchup, El Clasico, as you would deem it in the past. And you know, El Clasico always seems to go one way, and that way is towards Fnatic, so that's where I've gone with that prediction. Lastly, Mad versus G2. Normally a day 1 matchup of the LEC, and this is the repeat matchup. I personally think after Mad shocked the world by beating G2 in a split of shocks so far, with last week XL picking up their first ever win against Fnatic, and some other big shocks happening as well, I still think Fnatic will win. There's no other denying. Wait, it's not even Fnatic game I'm predicting the G2 game. I still think G2 are going to win. Haha. That ends out day number 1 of the LEC. Day 2, BDS XL. Boom, XL win. BDS not been performing at this higher level, but it is a young bug versus grabs matchup, so draft is everything. BDS have been a bit zany as a whole, and I don't like how they've been drafting, because Adam plays what Adam wants and he just gets absolutely dismantled every single matchup. Stick him on something weak side. Yeah, he likes to play carries, but you're not going to do much if he's playing them every single game, because he's just going to get camped. XL side of things, they've been very good at recent games, picking up obviously that win against Fnatic, and personally I think that they should do well this weekend, even if they are against some quite close matchups. As for SK Mad, we're not getting a repeat of a SK win, let's be honest. Mad Lions didn't lose that game, they threw that game, is the terminology I want to use, and as such I don't think they want to risk that again, and they're going to actually dismantle SK on the Rift as I see it. Rogue Misfits. This one I would have put as a match of the week, but as we have covered in this week's Anarchy Analysis new series, where we're breaking down each team individually, Rogue were the feature team in that, and Misfits, you know, they're not good enough yet. Rogue win, that's my prediction. G2 Astralis now. Oh boy, I'm rolling through these, let's be honest. I still think G2 are going to win. Astralis are bad. And finally, Fnatic versus Vitality is the match of the week for the LEC. Yeah, this is going to be close, but I've gone with a Vitality win. Fnatic have been shaken in recent weeks in terms of losses they've picked up. And Vitality have been picking up slowly and gradually more momentum. That's kind of the big reason why I think Vitality will win here and get a big win against a top team like they did against G2. And with that, predictions are done. I'm really tired. I've had to rush these out, so if any changes do happen before Thursday or Tuesday, you know, these predictions will probably be outdated. But hey, who cares? I predict on a Monday now. And with that, I'll end it here. Thank you very much for joining me. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a like down below, subscribe if you want to. Follow Dignitas on Instagram for these lovely images and the amazing editing she does. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.